Hey guys, this is Dan Sorbano, and today I'm going to go over combat pivoting for fighting, so stay tuned. Alright, what do I mean by combat pivoting? It's the way you pivot when you're fighting, okay? A lot of boxers will pivot, when you're fighting, you're bouncing around and then you're pivoting. And it works really well, and I like pivoting. But when you're fighting at close range, you need to change the way you pivot, and you have to understand how to pivot properly when you're in combat, okay? So I'm going to show you right now the different forms of pivoting, or some of the forms that I use and I teach other people, and the reasons why you would pivot that way and why you shouldn't, especially when you're fighting at close range, all right? So stay tuned. All right, now the first way people pivot mostly is, wide, about 180 degrees, okay, or maybe even 90-degree pivot, okay. Now, for people that don't know how to pivot, what you would do is you put about 60 to 70% of your weight forward on the lead leg, and be on the ball of the foot, slightly raising the heel off the ground, okay, and then you would either drag the rear foot or push off with the rear foot in the opposite direction that you'd want to go, okay. Or if I want to push off with my rear foot, then I would put the weight towards my rear, be on the ball of that foot, and push off with my lead, okay? So I can go here or here, okay? Now, there's different ways you can pivot, so once you understand that, one is a drag pivot, where you just drag the ground, okay? And you're just dragging the ground, stepping and dragging, okay? That's one kind of pivot you can do. Another one is where you're pushing off the foot and having it as you pivot off with the lead leg, okay? So you're just pushing off with the side of the ball of the foot in the direction that you want to go for your pivot, okay? So you're here, okay? So it's kind of pushing you and coming off the ground slightly. It helps you maneuver quickly, okay? So that's another kind of pivot. Now, like I said, you got the 180 pivot, you got the 90-degree pivot, and you got the almost 360 pivot, whichever one you like. But the problem with those big pivots and those long pivots is it takes a lot of energy and a lot of time for you to pivot. In that moment, it might be not enough time for you to be able to counter or to protect yourself from somebody who's attacking you, okay? So in the next segment, I'm going to show you how to shorten your pivot and make it more powerful and more combative for fighting in the street, or even in the ring. So stay tuned. Okay guys, so in this segment I'm going to go over the combat type of pivot that I like to do and that I use here at the gym and teach everybody to use, especially for close quarter fighting. So what you're going to do is, instead of pivoting halfway or even 90 degrees, okay, all I want you to do is, it's like a short arc. Just a little short 3 to 4 inch movement. When someone's throwing a strike at you, all it takes is about a fist. Fist is about 4 to 5 inches. So if you can just move that much, okay, that's all you need. You don't need to open yourself up this way and try to pass that punch. When you do that, it takes longer for you to recover and to counter the individual, and you're going to be further away from the individual, okay? So you want to be as close as you can, but without getting hit, all right? I know it takes timing and training, but it can be done, and it's really simple to do. And you have to remember, when someone's throwing something hard at you, as hard and powerful as he can't change in the middle of the throw and adjust, because all his momentum and power and force is going in one direction, and it's hard to change once it's going, okay? So it's very easy for you to move and get out of his way without worrying about him adjusting, because if he adjusts, he's got to stop what he's doing and then turn and do whatever he has to do to get you at whatever angle you've moved, and that takes time. And by that time, it's too late for him, okay? So what you're going to do is, it's a short, just a little short, just here, and just slightly turn, just a short arc. It's a little arc. I call it the arc pivot. It's a short and sweet. Okay, so what I do is, once I turn it here, then I push off and use my lead leg to drop into the strike. I made a video on how to drop, step, using your lead leg to drop and step, okay, to be able to use your power. So watch that video and it goes into that part of it. But this right here is just a short little arc of a pivot, and I push. So it's really quick, and you just drive as you drop step into your opponent. You can take him out with the elbow, you can with the punch. It's up to you what you want to use. You can just use your shoulder to strike him with or to take him down. Whatever it is you need to do. Again, it's a quarter pivot and it's a drive. So what I'm doing is I'm quarterly, okay, moving my foot. As soon as I stop, I push off and I drive my rear leg forward as my front leg drop steps into whatever angle I need to go. Okay, so slowing it down. Okay, and I can do it this way. Okay. Okay, so quick, short, and sweet. Okay, try that, and then as you get better at practicing slowly, then you can just quickly move quicker and add your strikes to it. Have your partner hold the pads close range, and you'll be able to hit the pads real power. Okay, then once you get comfortable with that, have him throw a strike and then hold the pad. So you use focus mitts to begin, because you'll get real fast at this, and so when he's throwing the strikes, you might hit him before you can put up the pad because it'll be so quick and because you're so close. Okay, so have him throw a strike, just slightly quarter pivot or arc, as they say, and drive either into him or away from him. And as you do that, you're going to find you're going to have more power and more strength and more explosive drive as you attack him. Okay, so try these methods out and see how your pivoting works a lot better when you're fighting. All right, guys. Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with pivoting per se any other way. Okay, no. I'm just trying to show you the more practical and more straight to the point type of pivoting that works for combat. It's going to be hard to do some of these things, especially when you get adrenalized. Okay, then on top of that, you're out there in the street and the ground's a little bit hard, so it's hard to pivot properly when your feet are dragging or grabbing and gripping the ground. That's why a short arc pivot is really easy to do. It's about 2 or 3 inch movement. It's not very much, but it's enough for you to get out of the way of a strike, and you'll be able to explode and attack the individual. Now, when you do that 2 or 3 inch move, okay, as you do it, move your head and then drive. That way, the head helps you. So this takes about 2 or 3 inches away, then your head slightly moving is another 1 or 2 inches, so it gets totally away from that fist or elbow. Okay, so try these out and understand the principles behind what I'm showing you, so that way you can use them and implement it in your fighting style. All right, guys, we've come to the end of the video, and I just wanted to go over a few points. One is nothing wrong with regular pivoting, especially when the ring and everything is good to pivot. But understand, the closer you get to actual combat and to close quarter, the shorter and quicker your pivot has got to be, and the more explosive and dynamic it has to be. Okay? Because if you just pivot wide and long, again, it'll take too long, and you won't have that power to be able to explode into your opponent. Okay? So when that happens is, he might be powerful and start swinging at you, so you've got to be able to take him out before he hurts you. Okay? Plus, you got to worry about multiple opponents, weapons getting pulled out, or if he has a weapon. So when you're able to do these little quick pivots and get in there, you'll be able to take him out quicker before anything happens that could be worse for you if you take too long to take him out or to be able to escape. Okay? Now, when you're doing this, understand, if you can take him to the ground and knock him down, or if you can knock him out, or just hurt him to the point where he can't fight you, that's when you get away. Don't stand there trying to beat the crap out of him, trying to have him tap out. It's not an MMA fight. It's not a boxing match. it's life and death. Get out of there. Get in, get out as quick as you can, okay? So there's nothing wrong with running and getting away, okay? Because, you know, you don't want to stand there, get hurt, you have his friends come at you, attack you. This is for street, but it's using common sense and trying to get away from the individual more better than anything else, all right? So practice this technique, and I guarantee you that as you practice more and more, you're going to be very quick at close range, and it's going to be hard to take you down. It's going to be hard to hurt you because you'll be doing the hurting on them. So until next time, this is Daniel Sobrano saying, don't just hit them, punch a hole through them, take care, and we'll talk to you later. Goodbye.